Hey everyone, and welcome to another YouTube Artist Collective video. The YouTube Artist Collective is a group of us artists here on YouTube, and we band together every couple of months and we all make art based on a common theme. And you guys get to actually vote for the themes over on Facebook, and this theme is World in a Bottle. And I was pretty excited for it because this theme was up for vote previously and it wasn't selected, and I was very bummed out. But it was selected this time. I was super excited, and I did something a little different. I didn't actually draw something inside of a bottle. You see it from outside the bottle, which is not what I thought I would have gone with, so that's a bit different. But before I talk more about the art, I just wanted to talk a bit more about the YouTube Artist Collective. Like I mentioned, we have a Facebook group, so make sure to go follow us there for updates and to vote on the themes. And also I'll have everyone who's involved linked down below in the video description, and I'll link to a playlist where you can easily just watch all the YouTube Artist Collective videos. It's a really easy way to do it instead of having to hunt down all the channels or click all the links individually. So definitely check out the playlist. Also, some artists put their artwork up for sale. I'm not selling this one currently, and I did not sell my last one either, but maybe in the future I'll put more original art up for sale, but this one's not. It is, however, on my Redbubble shop as a print, so if you would like to grab a print or any kind of merch, it is over there. Now, about the art process. I started by sketching on my iPad Pro, which I've actually been doing a lot lately. It's just so handy because, well, one, it's nice. It's very nice to draw on. But when you're drawing digitally, it's so much easier to just move things around, scale different objects, and I can get done my sketch a lot faster, and I feel like I can make a nicer sketch as well. In this case, I didn't refine the sketch too much before going over and doing the line art because it's pretty simple in terms of there's no anatomy or something that I've struggled a lot with. It's more like, oh, a bunch of leaves and little cartoon bunnies. So I could leave the sketch a bit looser before tracing it. So I would sketch it on the iPad, like I said, and then I would upload it to Google Drive, go to my computer and download it and print it off, and then I used a light box to trace it onto a piece of marker paper. That's been my workflow a lot lately. It's nice. Like I said, it's really nice sketching digitally, and it saves me a lot of time. So back to talking a bit about the concept behind the piece. Like I said, the theme was World in a Bottle, but I wanted to think a little outside the box, or outside the bottle, if you will. So instead of literally drawing something inside of a clear bottle, I thought, well, what if the bottle is maybe a house or something like that? And to these little bunnies, that bottle is their world. Your home is your world. It's not your entire world, but it's a very important part of your world. And so that's what I thought of. I don't know, it was just the first thing that came to my head. I was like, oh my god, the bottle could be the house, the bunnies are living in it. And I thought it would almost be like one man's trash is another man's treasure. Think of these as miniature bunnies living in the wild, and they came across this bottle and it was all gross and dirty, and it's actually still pretty dirty on the outside, but they repurposed it and made it their home and made something good out of it, and this is where they live now. So that was what I thought of. It also made me think of just making the best out of a bad situation. It's like, here's this crummy old bottle, it looks all gross, but hey, we're gonna transform it into our home, into this beautiful place. So kind of two things, the making the best out of a bad situation, and then the one man's trash is another man's treasure. And I think they're kind of related in this case. So in terms of design and placing everything, I just pictured the mama bunny coming out of the house bringing food. So she has some chocolate chip cookies there. And it's weird because the scene doesn't make total logical sense. They're miniature bunnies, they're living in a bottle, but yet they bake like people. It's like a whole thing. It doesn't all 100% make sense, but it's just what I thought of. So anyway, I included some really big leaves in the background, one to fill the space, but two to help indicate that they are small. This isn't a giant bottle. These are small bunnies. It's a regular size 2-liter bottle, and the bunnies are small. So the leaves help convey that, but I also included some smaller leaves just so that it would be more interesting, because if every leaf was gigantic, it would just take up too much space and look a little plain. So there are bunches of smaller leaves as well. And the ones on top of the bottle, I drew them a little too flat. They're supposed to be draping around from the back, and I did kind of indicate that, but I feel like when I was done and I looked at it, the leaves felt like they were flattening the top of the bottle, like it didn't look as 3D because the leaves were just too straight down. They should have been curved around the shape of the bottle a bit more, but I still think it's cute. Also, when coloring in the window and the door and the hole for the bottle, I probably went a little too dark. I didn't want to draw the contents inside the house. Like I didn't want the house to be transparent because I thought that looked too busy. And I thought since it's a dirty bottle anyway, you probably can't see inside of it. But I didn't really know what to do in terms of lighting, and I made the windows brown because I had been using brown on the stump. And I like to reuse colors throughout the piece just to tie the color scheme together and to limit my color palette. So I was looking at it, saying, okay, this part of the drawing could use some brown. Let's put it on the window. So I guess it's kind of like it's dark in there, and I don't know, maybe she left and she turned the lights off. I don't know even know if they have lights because it's in a bottle, but that's the whole thing. It doesn't have to make sense because it is nonsensical. Maybe they do have electricity in there. Who knows? Maybe they have candles. I don't know. One thing that doesn't make sense that was supposed to make sense is that you can see the laundry hanging out on a line in the back. One, it's hanging too high, but two, there are shirts hanging on the line, and you might be thinking, why are there shirts hanging if they're not wearing shirts? When I originally sketched it, the two little boy bunnies were supposed to be wearing shirts. Like I drew the shirts, but then when I traced it over, I guess I just couldn't see those lines very well because they were too pale, and I just forgot that they were going to be wearing shirts, and so they ended up naked. The dad, I did intend to be naked, but like I don't know why. I was like, oh, the kids can wear clothes and the adults just don't. The mom just has an apron and a bow, and then the dad would have his bow tie. So yeah, maybe they're just running around naked because all their clothes are dirty. I don't know. For the grass, I used a base of Copic marker, and then I went over it with some green pencil to add a bunch of blades of grass. Really, I could have done that with Copics too, but I just felt like using the pencil, I guess. And initially, I was making the blades of grass way too short because, like I said, they're small bunnies, so theoretically the grass would be really tall above their heads, but that would just look dumb. So I kind of compromised and tried to keep the grass somewhat short, but also kind of tall, and in certain areas I did make the blades of grass taller just to help it look like longer grass, but I didn't do that all over because it would just be too chaotic. It would cover the bunnies and it would just be too much. And then for the bottle, I did this speckle texture to kind of look like dust and dirt all over the bottle, but it also gives it almost a stone texture, kind of like the side of a house or something. So really you could look at it either way. I think it's interesting. And initially I thought the dirt would be inside the bottle, but I was like, well, no, because they would clean out the inside. Why would they live in the dirty part of the bottle? So in my mind, they cleaned the inside of it, but they didn't wipe the outside or something because it just gets dusty over time. I don't know. That was my thought. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out the playlist linked below. I hope you enjoyed seeing more buns. I'm just addicted to drawing them. They're fun, and it's fun to do a little storybook type illustration. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.